Hey everybody, welcome back to another Steelers practice report from the Post-Gazette Sports Department. I'm Brian Batko alongside my fellow Steelers beat writer Ray Fittipaldo. We're brought to you by Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci, Pittsburgh's mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers with over 85 years of experience in the industry. They've recovered millions for victims. If you have trouble with you or your loved ones, give them a call for a consultation. And Ray, we're bundled up again because it's still cold out here in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers finished practice indoors a little bit ago. Maybe somebody got his wish there, or maybe the practice fields are just frozen here at the facility. But some new faces today, and one old face no longer with the Steelers anymore.
Yeah, Darius Slay, he of the $10 million contract that was signed last March, made it through 12 games. And
more than one
that.
Thornhill.
Yeah, more than one Thornhill, but not even that because he was a healthy scratch before this past game, and then the Steelers cut ties with him on Tuesday. I think part of that was because Asante Samuel Jr. was on the practice squad, and I think other teams were looking to poach him. And listen, and a guy like Darius Slay, in the position he's in, longtime vet, if he's not going to play, you might as well do him the solid, let him go and see if he can hook on with another team.
Yeah, so he's out. I think that obviously means more on the plate for Samuel Jr., but also James Pierre. I mean, his injury from the last game, he's in concussion protocol, so he could still return and play Sunday against the Ravens at Baltimore. We don't know, but regardless, those are the two answers there at this point at outside corner. Slay out, Pierre/Samuel in. Maybe they'll rotate them. Maybe they'll see who the hot hand is for these final 5 games. Do you have a favorite memory, highlight or lowlight from the Darius Slay era of the Steelers, Ray?
Oh, probably from training camp back in Latrobe. No, I mean there wasn't there wasn't much to look back on there. Brian, the interesting part about the Samuel thing is, people just criticize the Steelers, and rightfully so, for them being old and then for acquiring older players. Samuel was actually in his mid-20s. If they can find out now if he can still play, they have the leg up to sign him during the offseason. So this actually is a very important 5-game stretch, not only for the Steelers to make a playoff run, but to see if they have anything in Samuel going forward.
Yeah, I remember thinking back when free agency started that Asante Samuel Jr., if healthy, would make a lot of sense for the Steelers in the state of their cornerback group. I don't think any of us envisioned them signing Darius Slay at age 34, but to be fair to them, Samuel wasn't healthy then. No one came sniffing around until he got that doctor's clearance end of October, early November. So now he is good to go, and the Steelers are going to roll him out there. Let's also talk about the new face here today, Adam Thielen, wide receiver, former Pro Bowler, longtime Minnesota Viking. Had some decent moments with the Panthers as well, but they traded him earlier this season. And how about them? Carolina is actually playing well. And if he wanted to get some wins, he should have stayed in Charlotte, I guess. But he was out here wearing number 16. Somebody else had that. I think it was John Rice Plumlee. So Thielen got a number that was suitable for him. And how fast do you think they can get him up to speed and on the field for this team, Ray?
Well, Brian, if you think back to last year in the Mike Williams trade, Mike Williams didn't need a game to sit out. He actually played that first week, and he contributed a touchdown. Now, he didn't do much after that, but the point is he was able to assimilate in 3, 4, 5 days' time. And I think Thielen, being the pro that he is, this is his 13th year in the NFL, I think he can probably figure out the playbook in a short period of time. And today he worked with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard. Tomorrow he'll get the chance to work with Aaron Rodgers, who said he's going to be back at practice today. And obviously you need that chemistry with whoever's going to be a quarterback.
And Rodgers was saying he knows Thielen personally decently well, I guess, and his family. Golf event there. So, and obviously just sharing games in the NFC North for as long as they did, Packers, Vikings. And I'll just tell you, Ray, I mean, loyal viewers and Steeler diehards know that you can't just talk about what you see at practice this time of year. It's not like Latrobe. But, I mean, we were allowed to film the individual drills at the beginning of the day. And I'll just say this. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it, or I'm a prisoner of the moment. Adam Thielen looked like he had more juice left in his legs than Robert Woods did. Just the little bit that I watched him out here that we're allowed to shoot and tweet and talk about.
Yeah, and you probably tweeted the video. I think he still has very light feet. They were doing some sideline drills where they were catching the ball. He was tapping his feet. So, listen, Aaron Rodgers talked about it. We'll see if he has any juice left. He said he was joking with Adam when he got here today. He feels really good because he wasn't playing a lot in Minnesota. Maybe he'll play more here in Pittsburgh than he was with the Vikings.
Yeah, he was backed up obviously to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and that team has just gone
Loaded.
way. But they've cratered since then
Right.
as a team. The Vikings have, mainly because of their quarterback play. So as far as Thielen and what he can bring, you're probably right, Ray, that at least get him up to speed to play a little bit, if not this week, for that final month of the season. And I don't view it as like, is he going to replace Roman Wilson or replace Calvin Austin? I don't think it's going to be quite like that, but he might take some snaps from those guys, and they might use him situationally in some places where they feel like they could improve or be upgraded.
Well, think back to Mike Williams. I don't know the exact number, but I think he only played 10 or 12 snaps in that game in Washington when he caught the game-winning touchdown. So I think you could see something similar this week. They'll probably have a package ready for him, not so much for him, but a package when they know he's going to be in the game, and he'll probably be first or second read on some of those. And I think they'll give him an opportunity to show what he has and to see if he can help this offense, because, Brian, they're coming off a game in which they only gained 166 yards. That's really bad. But we looked it up after last game. They had 163 in the loss in Philadelphia last year, so we're kind of getting used to this now.
It's deja vu of sorts. And, with Thielen, the last thing I'll say on him is I don't want to get people's hopes up too much. I'm still skeptical of, like, how much long speed is there for him now at 35. He's probably closer. And Aaron Rodgers said something about putting good film out there, and I mean, I think he basically said this is his last year, or his wife did on social media. So, so I don't know about all that. Otherwise, talked to Peyton Wilson a little bit today after practice. The run defense, he said, watching the film was not very fun. It actually kind of made it worse when they saw that the Bills were doing the same thing over and over to so much success. And hey, if they were as pissed off as he said, bringing the Ravens up next on the schedule should make them even more pissed off based on what happened the last two times they played them in Baltimore.
249 yards against the Bills, 220 against the Ravens, 299 against the Ravens the previous time. They got to step it up this game.
They absolutely do. I think Malik Harrison might play a little bit more in this one. Granted, he came from the Ravens. He was this year's Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott. He knows this game well, and it's just fascinating to me from a storyline perspective. Even if you're down on the Steelers, which, based on our views and all of that, I don't think you are too much. You're still consuming talk about the team. But even if you're disillusioned and disenchanted with what you saw Sunday night, obviously rightfully so, can't blame you. But it's fascinating to me that right now you've got John Harbaugh trying to prep this team to get off the mat after losing to the Bengals at 6-6. You've got Mike Tomlin over there trying to prep this team to get off the mat after losing 2 straight at 6-6. This is kind of the Steelers-Ravens matchup that you live for.
And I think I said on the podcast with Chris earlier in the week, Brian, someone has to win the AFC North. It's going to be one of these two teams, and probably the team that wins on Sunday.
You don't think it's going to be the Bengals charging in?
You got to run the table.
From the back? They do. You never know. It's the NFL. Crazy things happen. For Chris Carter, for Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Brian Batko. Thanks as always for finding us here on the Post-Gazette Sports YouTube channel.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.